And a very happy Wednesday to you at 12:08 in the West. It's the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wang's in Culver City.
John, just about 2 weeks ago, before anybody knew who she was, the vice mayor of Cudahy, Cynthia Gonzalez, went to a Karen Bass press conference where Karen Bass had different local electeds from all around L.A. County push back against ICE. And this is how Cynthia Gonzalez refers to herself.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Dr. Cynthia Gonzalez. I'm the vice mayor for the city of Cudahy.
She is so insecure. You know, last night I got a note from a listener who said that if you listen to the tape of her when she was calling on the street gangs to fight with ICE in the streets, if you listen real closely, the ladies from Reseda reacted to it.
Well, let's give it a listen.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
No, I know.
See? The listener was right.
Can't believe she refers to herself as doctor.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Dr. Cynthia Gonzalez. I'm the vice mayor for the city of Cudahy.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone in the audience said, "Hey, Doc, I've got this rash I want you to look at."
Next slide.
I'm going to have to drop trow, so what do you say we go behind the building?
What do you think happens when she's at an event and she doesn't get introduced as doctor?
Oh, I'm sure she flips out. I'm sure she breaks every glass in the room.
Fighting our turf.
I'm going to go on the record right now and say that's not even how she talks. That's a fake accent.
Oh, really?
I think that she is Alec Baldwin's wife.
So you think when she posted this video goading the gangs to go to war with ICE, she was putting on a fake Chola accent?
100%. If she's defending her dissertation for her EDD in leadership, you think she sounds like that in the room?
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
You got a bunch of guys sitting there in corduroy blazers, and they've got beards and pipes, and they're asking you questions about academics and research. You think she sounds like that?
How about when she's teaching LAUSD kids? She's been in LAUSD for many, many years as a teacher and as an administrator.
Well, maybe she sounds like that in the classroom. I don't know.
Fighting our turf.
Turf.
But if she's in a formal setting, at a university or a city council meeting, I do not believe she sounds like that. I think the accent is exaggerated. It's like whenever Hillary Clinton goes into a black church and suddenly she starts speaking with an Amos and Andy drawl.
I don't feel no ways tired.
Yep, I think that's what she was doing. She's looking for street cred. She thinks that this will give her cachet politically because she's running for higher office. She's running for, I think, the community college board, which, believe it or not, is higher office for her. And I think because she's trying to whip the gangs up into a frenzy to start shooting at ICE, she thinks that will make her popular with the electorate. That's how dumb she is.
Fighting our turf.
I got a call from a woman last night in Cudahy that's in a bunch of Cudahy Facebook groups. And believe it or not, there were people in those groups defending her.
Oh, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who want the gangs to start shooting at ICE.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
Well, they're not shooting at ICE. Now, Randy, we have more information on the controversy right now going on in Cudahy.
That video went everywhere. Every local news station picked it up. It got picked up on national stations. And Fox 11 even got a tepid response from the city of Cudahy. Here is Fox 11 in Los Angeles.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
What a way to start a package.
I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all...
It's one thing to be like, oh, the gang should really intervene here. It's another thing to specifically call out the specific gangs that you want to go to war.
And I love the fact that she talks about them like they're the SEIU. Where's your leadership? I know the membership is definitely with me, but where's the leadership of these unions?
The vice mayor of Cudahy is under federal investigation tonight for this controversial video obtained exclusively by Fox News.
In it, she appears to call several times for local gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
Fox 7's Matthew Seedorf joins us now live from Cudahy with the shocking video. Matthew.
Yeah, the vice mayor.
Cudahy saw so many news vans show up.
Oh, yeah. Imagine what the locals thought. Did someone win the lottery again?
Yeah, the vice mayor today not answering any of our text calls or emails as her video gains national attention.
Apparently last week she posted on Facebook, I think I need a lawyer. The FBI just visited me.
Oh, yeah. Listen, lady, if you want to go viral without needing a lawyer, you should have just done a sex tape with one of the Kardashians. But doing this, you're going to get a knock on the door from the feds.
Whoever's the leadership over there, just get your members in order.
An explosive TikTok video now the center of a possible FBI investigation in LA County.
Don't be trying to claim no block, no nothing if you're not showing up right now.
For about 90 seconds, City of Cudahy Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez calls on gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
You guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Florencia. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being...
Claiming hood.
She should have had Alec Baldwin's wife in the background throwing up gang signs.
And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
The controversial video was shared last week and has since been deleted.
Okay, I know that you can't play the whole video in a short rap, but Fox 11, you got to include the best line in it.
Fighting our turf.
You know, it's hard to edit that because every single second of it was gold.
The controversial video was shared last week and has since been deleted, along with these Facebook posts obtained by Fox before they were also taken down. The vice mayor writing, I need a lawyer. The FBI just came to my house.
Well, maybe the gangs can provide you protection.
The vice mayor writing, I need a lawyer. The FBI just came to my house, saying it was about a TikTok video that I made that went viral, literally a TikTok, adding she believes this is a First Amendment rights issue.
Don't know about that.
Now, wait a minute. Maybe one of those gang members went to law school and they can provide a legal defense for her.
Fighting our turf.
Is it within your First Amendment rights to post a video calling for gang members to assault law enforcement?
You know, when I spent that month on jury duty and I had to hang out around the courthouse and I had to sit in those hallways with a bunch of people with tattoos on their face, I assumed that they were criminal defendants. But who knows? Maybe one of them is a member of the bar.
Adding she believes this is a First Amendment rights issue.
And they're using our brown bodies to avoid the conversation that this administration is a failure.
Gonzalez seen earlier this month at a press conference with LA area mayors.
How great is that all of this goes international and people start looking for Cynthia Gonzalez? And what do they find? A video with her and Karen Bass.
Oh, Karen, that's not going to be good for you.
She's a personal friend. I know her. I know that she wouldn't call for violence.
She did.
On tape.
Nearby,
No, she would never put a video out like that. Come on.
Nearby Huntington Park Mayor Arturo Flores condemns Gonzalez's video.
Words aren't...
Condemns? You just defended her.
Words are important, and so you have to be very careful about what you say and how you say it.
Yeah, isn't that something that a teacher tells children, not something that the public has to tell the teacher?
And doesn't she work at the university, too?
She's got a lot of jobs. I don't know how many salaries she's collecting. I'd love to know how much the vice mayor of Cudahy makes, because that's not a full-time job. Is this a City of Bell situation?
I would love to know if she's got one of those prize jobs over at UCLA, what kind of breakthrough research she's produced.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
While now urging local police to verify identities of those believed to be federal agents.
So now am I able to operate with impunity? Am I able to tackle you right now?
Telling officers to pull over those without license plates for possible immigration operations.
If a caravan's coming in to our community, 4 or 5 vehicles, what I expect is for a vetting to happen of who those individuals are.
We're out there like fighting our turf.
There, they put it in there.
All right.
We knew
I
it.
know Fox 11 wouldn't fail us.
We're out there like fighting our turf.
I'm sure her parents are proud.
Fighting our turf, protecting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
The vice mayor not returning our calls, but a spokesperson from the city of Cudahy shared this written statement with Fox 11, saying they're aware of recent comments made by Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez on social media. The comments made by the vice mayor reflect her personal views.
And that makes it okay?
You know, maybe if she's not returning anyone's calls, maybe she's hanging out in the outfield at Dodger Stadium defending the turf.
Fighting our turf.
The comments made by the vice mayor reflect her personal views and do not represent the views or official position of the city of Cudahy.
Oh, could you imagine working for that city right now? You're a tiny, itty-bitty city, and you generally just deal with local municipal issues. And now all of a sudden you have international attention because one of your council members is a moron and said something that inflammatory?
We also reached out to every other single city council member here. So far, all we've had back is that one written statement. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
So Matthew say that video has gone viral, and if you've looked at it, have you looked at the comments? Does she respond to people in the comments?
Yeah, the only comments that we've seen from her are on Facebook. The only response at all, really, in that now deleted video. We haven't seen any sort of response from her as this video is gaining national attention in other places like Twitter and on Instagram.
And you've seen the video from beginning to end, Matthew. Is there a really obvious threat? Is she calling for violence?
Yes.
That was pretty much the point of that video, wasn't it?
Fighting our turf.
She does mention defending territory. She names those gangs by name. It's up to interpretation, I guess, and that is the active investigation taking place, whether or not that will classify as a threat.
All right, Matthew Cedar, thank you so much.
So there's everything that we knew last night on just the gem of Cudahy, Cynthia Gonzalez.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
If the other council members didn't hate her before, I guarantee you they hate her now. But my guess is they hated her before. That's me going out on a limb, but I'm usually right about these things. What's surprising to me is that this is only generating attention pretty much locally and on conservative media. It's on Fox and I think Newsmax and those sorts of places.
Locally, every station did pick it up.
Yes. But it hasn't broken through to my eye, or at least I haven't seen it on CNN or MSNBC or the New York Times or the Washington Post yet. But this is inflammatory and outrageous. And if this woman survives this and moves on to higher office, I don't know what to say.
Oh, my goodness. The listener from Cudahy just emailed us some of the Facebook comments that are in that group defending her. Here's one of them. Everyone that's mad in these comments ain't from L.A. and stands behind the racist admin that's allowing their gangs on our streets. I heard her loud and clear. Where is the Raza at? Where is our militia?
Well, so much for she was asking for them to protest peacefully.
I think Cynthia Gonzalez is a wonderful asset to our community. She's been a great leader and wasn't inciting violence. I hear many haters asking her for her resignation. These same haters aren't even from our community. They don't know her. I think I know her pretty well.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
How many different alter egos do you think she has online? I bet you she is posting in the comments on all of these posts as different people.
Oh, she's catfishing.
Fighting our turf.
Didn't what's-his-face over at the LA Times get in trouble for that? Michael Hiltzig? I think so. Just in case she's listening, and really this advice is not just for her, this advice is for all of us. There is no benefit at all in getting involved in a battle to the death in the comments on any post on social media. There is nothing to be gained from fighting with people in the comments on Facebook. I know it's easy to do. It's easy to get sucked in. someone says something you don't like, you want to fight back, all it does is suck up your time and potentially get you to say something that's going to get you in trouble at some point in the future. So as tempting as it may be, don't take the bait, don't do it, and I guarantee you she is. The impulse control that I've seen so far, not good. So right now it's your opportunity to weigh in on all this at 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, if you missed yesterday's show and you want to find out what you missed out on, that's easy to do.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
Search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify. Search for The John Phillips Show. Hit subscribe, download all the episodes, share them in your Facebook groups that you're participating in, share them with your friends, share them with everyone.
Fighting our turf.
The Vice Mayor of Cudahy is under fire right now, not just locally, but nationally and internationally, for calling on local street gangs to attack ICE, fight ICE in the street, confront them in the streets. Do you believe she will survive this politically? I think even in California, which I often refer to as the insane asylum, this was one bridge too far. What say you at 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. Right now, we're taking your calls at 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. The vice mayor of the city of Cudahy asked street gangs to join her in the streets to go up against ICE.
I want to know where all the cholos are at.
Do you think she's going to survive this politically? At 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. Let's begin with Patrick and Carson. Patrick, hello.
Hey, John. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good.
You know, those gangs aren't dumb enough to go and fight against ICE or the cops head up. There's no profit in it. There's no win in that situation. She's barking up the wrong tree, but the mere fact that she wants to know where the cholos are, all she has to do is drive down the street in Cudahy. That place is a hole. You know, it's a little ridiculous if you ask me.
Well, here's the thing. Street gangs are like the mafia. They're like La Cosa Nostra. They exist to make money, whether it is by selling drugs, trafficking people, holding up local businesses, whatever the case may be. They make their money by illegal means. They're not ideological. They're not trying to influence the politics of an area. They're not a community service organization. It's not a labor union. It's a group of people who want to make money by illegal means. That's what binds them together. That is the social network of a street gang. She's asking them to drop that pretense and to get political on her behalf. Can you imagine if they get caught doing something stupid like shooting at a cop? What happened to Bob over there? Well, Bob got in trouble because he took the advice of the vice mayor of the city of Cudahy from social media when she called out the street gangs and said, "What are you guys doing? You should be in the streets with us fighting ICE." And he took her up on her request. And now he's serving 25 to life. Nice knowing you, Bob.
Yeah, Bob doesn't want a third strike for her BS.
Nope. And that's why she has no takers. Thank you for the call, sir.
Fighting our turf.
Let's go to Sam in L.A. Sam, hello.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. Now, John, I know you. I've been listening to you for years, and I want you to hear me out, please. There's two people that you will never say anything against. That's Trump and the police. I've been listening to you for years. You never say nothing against them. Now, this lady, the mayor, I don't think she was saying go war to war with the police like the gentleman just called just now. He said they're not. You have to be stupid to do that, to try to have a shootout with ICE, National Guard, or whatever like that. I think what she was saying is she probably just so frustrated of seeing how they jumping out and rounding up these people in detention centers. The family don't know where they're at or whatever. And when they're legal, they still in detention center for 2 or 3 days. Don't nobody know. But ain't nobody said nothing about that. Okay, J.D. Vance, a few days ago, I don't know if you saw it, John. He's a big liar, just like Trump. He got up and said that the protesters have been kidnapping the ICE agents. That's the biggest lie ever told. If that was the case, we'd have been heard something about that a long time ago. How are protesters going to kidnap ICE agents? Explain that to me, John.
Okay.
No, there's
so
no sympathy for the people who are getting rounded up.
Let's use her words that she used specifically, because I don't want to misquote her. She didn't even refer to street gangs. I guess she did when she referred to them as cholos. But she referenced, what was it, Randy? 2 different specific gangs?
Yes, 18th Street and the Florencias.
Okay. So she specifically called out 2 different street gangs who are criminal organizations. Am I right? That's what street gangs are?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So these are street gangs that are known for what? Drive-by shootings, protection rackets, selling drugs, trafficking humans, those sorts of things, correct? They're not a civic organization. They're not a political organization. They're not a religious organization. They're not a community service organization. It is a criminal enterprise that does the things that I just mentioned. And she called on them to join her in the streets to go up against ICE, to quote unquote defend their turf, correct?
That's what she said, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
they don't defend their turf through writing letters to the editor. They don't defend their turf by registering voters. They don't defend their turf by doing things that you would associate with a political organization. They're a criminal enterprise. They defend their turf through violence. And if they defend their turf through violence, which we know because we're very familiar with both of those groups, that's what she was calling on them to do. In what world is that acceptable?
You think she really meant that, John?
Yeah.
You think she really meant that?
Yeah, because otherwise wouldn't you say, hey, I want the churches out here. I want the unions out here. I want the Democratic Party out here. There are organizations who do the things that I think you're referring to. The street gangs are not one of them. The street gangs use violence and intimidation to get what they want.
Well, okay, don't the police do the same thing, John? Look at what about they jump out on people. I don't know if you saw it, John. The other day, the guy, I'm quite sure you watch the news a lot. A gentleman came up behind a car, this ICE agent, I guess. He jumped out, pulled out his gun. All the guy was doing was photographing the license plate. He cocked his gun and then jumped back and took off. They don't know who these people are.
I can tell you this.
Trump is letting them run roughshod over there because there's no accountability.
I have been in the news for a very long time. I have never once reported on a drive-by shooting where the cops were the shooters. I have never once reported on police officers illegally selling drugs where occasionally you'll get a rogue officer who does something like that, but if they catch them, they prosecute them. They don't turn their heads the other way. The DAs go after them, and there are plenty of police officers who, when they break bad and get caught, end up going to prison themselves. To compare street gangs to the cops is not a fair comparison. What she was doing, and we all know this, was she was calling on the street gangs to put up a fight, a physical fight against ICE, because she regards them as her muscle. And she was calling on her muscle to go up against what she regards as the government's muscle. And that's what she was calling on. Thank you for the call. All right, let's go back to the phones and welcome Morris in North Hollywood. Morris, hello.
Yes, good afternoon. The whole thing with ICE and the vice mayor, that, you know, we're running a difficult task over here. If our president wants to get rid of the illegals, it is a very, very simple process. For the most part, 95% of them are here for economics. Cut the economics from employment, make it a felony to hire anyone, even at a car wash is shown on TV, a janitor, make it a felony to hire anyone, and they cannot work in America. Number two, evict them. If they're illegally here, you cannot rent to them at all. No housing, no automobiles, no gasoline, no cell phones. They will leave on their own. There's no business. There's no reason to be here. They're making it so difficult with the gangs and with the protests. They don't need to go that route at all. And that's all the president needs to do. And they'll pack their bags and leave. And even bring their little children that are born here. They'll take them back wherever they come from, north of the border or south of the border, or wherever they came from. They'll take them too. And So, and the same token, the owners of these old, dilapidated apartment buildings that these people rent will have to remodel so American people will rent them, because they won't live in them kind of housing, especially in MacArthur Park area, where they rent a lot of these old apartment buildings there. So the owners will have to remodel just to rent to the American people. And also the rent will come down, too, because it'll stabilize itself. So it's a whole economic process that can be handled very, very easily. Even Kamala Harris could have handled it that way, because she said she couldn't get rid of the illegal aliens. It can be done if they wanted to. But I don't think it'll ever happen, because it's all business. And I commend what Donald Trump is doing, but I think he's doing it the hard way, wasting a lot of resources, causing a lot of aggravation, and they don't need to be. And maybe he'll change his mind eventually and just go the other way and economically just start cutting resources everywhere, and these people will pack their bags and leave on their own. And you won't have the people crossing the border either. There's no reason to be here if you're illegally here. No reason whatsoever. And so there'll be a lot of changes in the future if they should decide to go that route.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir.
Finally got an off-ramp.
I was expecting another and.
Fighting our turf.
Let's go to Bill in Temecula. Bill, hello.
Yes, hello. I've been listening to the show probably like maybe 10 years. I guess Dr. McIntyre was actually what turned me on to this show. I've heard Leo, Julian, Drew, I think that was Dr. Drew. And anyway, I enjoy your show. I think people can talk their grievances over the phone. I think it's better than out in the streets. That's why I like this show, even though I don't agree with everybody. But me, I grew up in L.A., Orange County, pretty much everywhere around here, but I did start off in L.A. My heart is in L.A. because I guess my young years I was born there. Or not, I wasn't born there, but we lived there. We came from the Southwest. We lived there probably when I was about 1 or 2 years old. But anyway, I've had my family members. I don't know if you ever remember Long Beach when it used to be like a carny show. They used to have the Pike. They used to have that roller coaster. Well, anyway, my uncle was walked the beat there at the Long Beach Pike. There was a place there called Marina Palace that Cal Worthington used to go to, and he used to be kind of like a bodyguard for Cal Worthington. I don't know if anybody remembers him. But anyway, I come from a long list of police. I come from a long list of priests, et cetera, et cetera. And, some of my relatives probably aren't the best. But anyway, I support the police, and what she did was very wrong. I just want everybody to know not all Hispanics feel that way. I totally believe in the police, the Marines, the Navy, the Army, everybody. Because I've had, family members in the service also. So anybody goes against them, that's wrong. But I don't understand. The only thing I really, really have a hard time figuring out is why can't we get these criminals out of the prisons? Why aren't we going after the real bad guys? I'd really like to know. We could sign executive orders or whatever we got to do.
Well, I can explain that. That's the sanctuary state law. The sanctuary state law prohibits them from cooperating with the feds. The feds said they're perfectly happy to go to the prisons and the gangs and just take all of those guys and send them back. But because the state won't cooperate, they have to find them in the community. And when they find them in their homes or their places of work or wherever it is that they find them, if they find other people around them who are here illegally, then they got to go too.
But explain this to me. How can they actually go into the sanctuary cities? Supposedly they're not supposed to. But they're not supposed to go into the prisons, and they're not going into prisons. It doesn't make sense to me.
Because the state employees can't cooperate with them. If the federal government finds them on their own, they can deport them. the state cannot cooperate. So the people who work at the prisons, the people who work at the jails, if you send them an immigration detainer, they will not acknowledge it. They will not fulfill it. They throw it in the trash because they're not allowed, per state law, to cooperate with the feds on immigration.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's rules are rules, laws are laws. Sometimes I don't agree, but hey, that's the way it is.
All right.
I do wish they would, get those because there's, a lot of those. Thank you.
You got to get rid of the sanctuary state laws to get the people in the prisons and the jails. Thank you for the call, sir. And if you're on hold and I don't get to your call in the next couple of minutes, we're going back to the calls after we check in with the DA next hour. So stay on hold, and we'll get to as many of you as possible at 800-222-5222. Let's go to Mark in San Diego. Mark, hello.
Hi, John. This vice mayor, Cynthia, is not very smart. I heard or read that she was very highly educated, but she just doesn't seem very smart. The gang members, on the other hand, usually the ones that she's calling on, like the leadership, can be very smart. And I think that if they figure out that they could work with ICE or tip ICE off to the people that they want deported that might be cutting into some of their profits, or maybe that they just want deported, I think that's a more likely scenario. If she were really smart, she would have just kept her mouth shut.
So you think they could go in with the feds and get their rivals deported?
Exactly. Well, at least the ones that are not legal. And they maybe even do it to people that they don't want in their area. So the gangs have different motivations, and a lot of them are pretty smart. I'm guessing that there are tip lines of sorts to tell ICE about something, and ICE may or may not respond to those, but might look into those. And I'm thinking that, it wouldn't surprise me if the leadership tried to, through back channels, contact ICE and see if they couldn't help them out, find some of these criminal elements that were cutting into their profits.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. Interesting theory. Let's go to Gary in Irvine. Gary, you have about 45 seconds. Go.
Well, I kind of thought the same thing, really. I thought maybe she was actually a Republican. Maybe she's out ahead of the curve, that she knows that these gangs are horrible. And so she wants to get rid of them. And the way she's going to get rid of them is, hey, get them out there fighting with ICE and let ICE eliminate them all. Is that not possible?
Well, that would be 3D chess. And based on what I've heard from this woman, I don't think she can play checkers.
I don't disagree. But I just thought, hey, what's better than getting gang members in a gunfight? Because I assume they're not going to fight with Nerf batons. They're going to use weapons, and ICE can go ahead and take care of them all. So I was hoping that was her master plan. She was just way smarter than all of us.
Well, I'm doubting that, but maybe you're right. Thank you for the call, sir. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. If you're on hold, stay there. We're going back to calls next hour after we check in with the DA. It's the John Phillips Show.